and welcome to the Saturday News, live-ish, I guess, from my boat. My name is Phil Chambers, and I am here with Gareth Morgan. Hi, Gareth.
Hello, I'm live from not a boat. I'm live from my bedroom at the top of a nice ivory tower. That's where I am.
Excellent. Right. Before we get going, please do subscribe to the video, like the video, and comment down below because it really does help. But today's stories. First up, Becky Lynch was talking to ESPN about all of the things they're doing behind the scenes at the Performance Center.
I'm going to tell you about all the things that went down on SmackDown because there was some stuff actually happened there. That was incredible.
Stuff. Matt Riddle being Matt Riddle.
Lovely. We've also got Monday Night Raw. We've had a few big announcements for some big stars that are going to be popping up on that show.
And Chris Jericho has something special planned for his fans tonight.
Yeah, we've also got whether or not SmackDown's or what's going to be happening with the SmackDown post WrestleMania.
And that's all I've got. Have you got any more?
That's all you got. I got one more. Sorry, I got so many. I've got there's WWE have announced a new cool twist on the Broken Skull sessions as well. So I've got a few things there for you, Phil.
Excellent. But first, not quite as fun news. Teddy Hart, real name Edward Annis, has been arrested and charged with strangulation resulting in bodily harm. So, fun story to start the day today. The victim has been named as Ring of Honor star Maria Manic. They've been dating apparently for a couple of months off and on. It all kind of kicked off the other day when an indie wrestler called Ace Montana posted a video to his Facebook page where he basically kind of leaves the house, locks the door, or tells someone to lock the door behind him, which we assume is Maria Manic. And then he confronts Teddy Hart, basically threatens him, tells him that he needs to leave and that they will be pressing charges. He wrote in the video description about it. He says, "I literally had to pull my gun on Teddy Hart and throw him out of my friend's house. This piece of stuff literally choked out and physically assaulted Maria Manic and would not let her get help. She texted me, 'I'm in danger.' Never ever did I think I would meet a piece of stuff like this guy, who has now been arrested with a felony against him. I don't think this guy knew how close to death he was." And then he just ends it with, "F you, Teddy Hart." So he's being held in bail in Richmond City Jail, held without bail in Richmond City Jail, I should say, where he could get 1 to 5 years in prison. It's not the first time he's been in trouble with the police either. Over the last 3 months, I think, he's also been pulled over by the police and charged with possession of Schedule 3 narcotic and possession with intent to sell. And he's also been charged with not carrying his registration card or license, improperly mounted license plates, and in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't seem that bad, but failure to use lights without wipers. Don't quite know what that means.
They all mount up, Phil. They all mount up in the end. It's a weird one, isn't it?
It is, yeah. If you don't know, Teddy Hart is the son of Georgia Hart, who is the daughter of Stu Hart from the famous Hart family, obviously. He was the youngest person to ever sign a WWE developmental contract back in 1998. He was trained by Dory Funk Jr., but he was released in 2002 due to alleged attitude problems. Not entirely sure what they are, but I mean, judging by the rest of this guy's life, it seems like they were right to get rid of him. But since then, he's kind of bounced around the independent circuit. He has had a few runs with Ring of Honor, and he had quite a big one with MLW. He was the longest reigning MLW middleweight champ, and he was a tag champ there as well. So yeah, he's had a long career, member of the Hart family, obviously, and well, he's not a nice guy, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, just that entire story about him having to pull a firearm on him to get him away and everything else. It was that's. You never like hearing things like this, but hopefully justice is served. If everything it did indeed happen the way it's been spoken about there, and hopefully, I don't know, he serves. You never want, you don't want to sit here and go, "Oh, I hope everyone goes to jail," but you want people to get time for the crime, really. If
get
like
their
this,
comeuppance.
Exactly.
Move on to something a bit better.
Yeah, because we're ready for some SmackDown. Smack it down. You can tell I've just had my vitamin C. Let's go. So we've got, we opened the show, Bayley, Sasha, Lacey Evans, Naomi, and Tamina had one of those typical roundabout things where everyone comes out and says the piece, and then they go, oh, somebody else is coming out, somebody else is coming out. And Tamina came out and didn't speak. She just battered everyone because she's a badass now, apparently. Yeah, she did that, and there was no real standout mention of Dana Brooke being pulled out of that match, even though from the reports that we've had, because of the current global situation, she is out of that match. She's isolating. So, but they didn't really draw any attention to that. They just said, "Oh, yep, this is what's happening now. It's a 5-way." And we're like, "Okay, cool, thanks." Drew Gulak also beat Shinsuke Nakamura. He beat him. So obviously now Daniel Bryan is going to take on Sami Zayn, and that match, we all want to see that match. That match is going
to be so good. Did you see the little video they put out of them after the match, where it's just Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan, and they're both doing squats like one at a time, so they're just kind of bobbing in and out of the camera while Kelly Braxton's trying to interview them. And then they're like, "But like, what are you going to do? How are you going to celebrate?" And like, more training. And then Daniel Bryan suggests going to get some vegan sausages, and Drew Gulak's like, "No, we need more training." Well, and they just don't walk out of there.
He's the boss. And I love that we're doing the like wrestling workout training thing.
Yeah,
I've done little things like this in my MMA classes, but not like this on my own, which now looks like a dance. But it's good. Do this on Saturday, get you nice and ready for your SmackDown. Then also it looks like Dolph Ziggler and Otis are finally going to have their match. They had a bit of an altercation backstage. Mandy Rose as well. She's weirdly didn't. It was a weird one. She said if this match is going to take place, she doesn't really want to be the person that they're fighting over, which is something we've suggested, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, we've said it in our reviews over time, saying that as long as this match isn't a thing where they're fighting over an item, it's fine. But
you win the woman.
Exactly, but WWE have framed it that way, even though she said that. It's a weird thing. And also then we've got Elias got Mufasa'd.
He did.
He got
absolutely. I killed Mufasa.
So now it's pretty much been confirmed that at WrestleMania it won't be Elias taking on Corbin. It will be Simba.
It will.
It's going to be great.
The return of Jafar as Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I love that. That'd be good. And then we've got Alexa Bliss had a great match with Asuka. Really good match with Asuka, actually. Check that out. Nikki Cross again was an MVP because she was on.
Doesn't understand social distancing.
Doesn't at all. And she just was sat on top of the Michael Cole he's been absolutely battered in every one of these.
He's had a good few weeks, has he, poor guy.
Going on. But she was great. She took on the Asuka role that she had on Raw a couple of weeks ago. She did a very similar thing, kept all the energy up in the match. And then we had the Triple H Roman Reigns recap from WrestleMania 32, which, if you've seen that match, it's aged all right, but not. It just brings back bad memories. Let's just say that. And then Triple H also mentioned that he thinks Roman Reigns is going to win that match against Goldberg. And then we also had a.
I don't think he is, mate.
I don't think he is either. Yeah, that was weird as well. I'll get into this in a little bit, but they didn't mention once about Roman Reigns not being in that match. So
yeah, it's really weird. The power of editing. Let's not use it. We'll just leave it. We filmed it now.
Yeah, they'll understand. It's like no,
stop.
You've had a day. Yeah, it was a weird one. But then the Firefly Funhouse, tongue twister. That was quite interesting as well. You had Bray Wyatt talking about the fact that he had a mixture, the ingredients to finally beat John Cena, which was surreal, intense, and Rambling Rabbit. It didn't end very well for Rambling Rabbit. I don't want to spoil it too much for Phil, but it didn't end very well for Rambling Rabbit. As always, bless him. He's just trying to be a fun-loving guy. But now it's been announced that John Cena... Wyatt actually challenged Cena to a Firefly Funhouse match. So...
Looking forward to that.
Great. It's going to be Hooters, mate. No, well. John Cena is advertised to appear on SmackDown next week to answer that challenge. And then the last thing that happened on SmackDown is we had the New Day taking on the Usos, but of course that ended in a DQ. And then now we've got going forward, we're going to have a three-way for the SmackDown titles, the tag titles at Mania. Miz Morrison, Usos, New Day in a ladder match.
Exciting.
So, that's what we wanted. We wanted our big ladder match. We've got it. So that's fine.
Indeed, we did want that, and we've got it. And I wanted them to do some more random crap where they just kind of make up random matches and do it all a little bit weird. And the Firefly Funhouse match seems exactly like that. Use the fact that you can edit these things and just be a bit more creative with it. And this looks like what we're getting.
I hope it's just like a massive Firefly mansion. That'd be great.
I don't know what they're going to do, but could be thoroughly entertaining. This.
Yeah, I'm here for that. I'm so here for that. It's gonna be great. That's my SmackDown run through. Really, obviously we were gonna mention the Roman Reigns just not being mentioned at all. The fact that he's been pulled out of that.
Yeah, it's really weird that they're still pushing that match, even though they know that he can't do it. So it's like you'd expected them to take this opportunity of SmackDown to readdress that match. Like everyone understands the situation. Just say, sorry, Roman Reigns isn't going to be in that match due to these reasons. Everyone will understand it. It'll be perfectly fine, but don't keep pushing that match that you know is not going to happen.
I thought they were going to throw Triple H into it, I'll be honest. As soon as I saw him pop up, I thought, oh, cool segue. You've just shown that match. Be like, okay, we've gone to war and I respect him, so I think it's only right that I pick up the mantle. Where I thought, oh, we're going to get that, but nope.
Yeah. Nope. Well, everyone thinks, obviously, it's going to be Braun Strowman, all of the rumours, but the guy that I want it to be, Matt Riddle, has been on Twitter doing a ridiculous video. Obviously, it's his bro message of the day, he calls it, and it's basically just him riding a skateboard down a hill, talking to his camera phone, and he says in the video,
fast, Phil. Like
he was going really fast. He says in the video, "Oh man, just another day, coronavirus, bro." I'm not going to do the impression for that.
I was with you then. I was right.
Skateboarding around, working out, staying tight, just in case I get a call for a match. I mean, with Stallion and Pete out of the country, I can't really defend my tag titles with him. So until he gets back, it looks like the bro is a singles competitor. And he ends it just by saying, this skateboard goes really fast, almost as dangerous as a jackhammer.
Loved it. And he just shuttles off then straight away. Like, what did you say?
He did have a little dodgy moment somewhere in the middle of that where he's like, whoa, and like hit a bump or something. But just give us Goldberg versus Riddle. Just for the banter, it'll be worth it.
Imagine if he won.
And he beat him with a jackhammer, like Matt Riddle doing a jackhammer on him.
Skateboard, like that'd be good.
Never gonna happen. But brilliant.
No.
What's next?
Next up, we've got WWE have announced some big stars actually that are going to be on that last episode of Raw before Mania, which has already been recorded, I believe, at this point. But that's going to have on it, it's going to have Brock Lesnar. Brock is coming back. We've got Hall of Famer Edge. We've got Becky Lynch is going to be on it as well, and The Undertaker. So names that you'd probably expect to be on the Go Home Mania show anyway. There's been no real word on if the rivals of each one of these people are going to be on the show. But again, Go Home show. They're going to be on the show, surely. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It was weird in the WWE write-up of it. Like, they had a few quotes in there. And they said things like Becky Lynch has had the upper hand over Shayna Baszler all the way up to this, ever since Elimination Chamber. And I was a bit like, really?
Maybe once. Maybe on Raw this week. That's about it. Only because she kind of snuck up behind her and hit her with a chair.
Upper hand.
So,
like, she's the favourite. And I'm like, he is. And then they didn't really mention, they said, oh, Brock Lesnar's going to be making his last appearance, and they said, oh, will Drew McIntyre be in the arena? You'd think so. You'd probably think so.
Think so.
Yeah. But and also we might get a bit more information about specifically what the Undertaker AJ Styles Boneyard battle thing is going to be, which, again, we want it. We want this stuff.
Whatever it is, I'm game. 100% game for this.
Want the graveyard fight. And then Edge is going to be obviously on there to follow up on Orton's incredible promo last week. But those two have been stellar. In this situation when they've not had any crowd, those two have been absolutely
they've been
incredible.
Absolute MVPs of this whole situation.
Just showing that the legends can literally just give them a camera, give them a microphone, boom, do whatever they want. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But they're the big superstars that have been announced for next week's episode on Raw. I'm trying to think if anybody else could pop up that I can think of associated to any big match on Raw. Maybe Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley could have a bit of a show.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows?
Think much else. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm very excited for more wrestling. In these testing times, it's awesome still having some wrestling to get into and escape into. So it's exciting times for that, I guess.
Indeed. And talking about these performance center shows, Becky Lynch was talking to ESPN last night on their Instagram story, talking about the sort of situation backstage and what it's like. And I have a few quotes from it that are quite interesting. Just a good little look into what they're actually doing behind the scenes to protect the wrestlers and things like that.
Cool.
So she started off by saying, when she was asked about Roman Reigns' decision to withdraw from the card, she said she doesn't personally have any concerns for herself, that she thinks they've settled on a very hygienic system and it's really limited the amount of people that are there. and that she just wants to make sure that they're conscientious of when they do go back home, that they do quarantine for 2 weeks and like make sure that they're not spreading it from the performance center or anything like that back out into the world. But in terms of the setup behind the scenes and things like that, she says that they are staggering everything. If you don't have a reason to be there, then get the hell out of there. You're not there. If you have a match or a segment, you're there with a minimal amount of crew to shoot it. And then when you come in where your temperature is taken, a questionnaire is filled out, and the doctors are there to meet you as soon as you walk into the building. So it looks like WWE have put a lot of plans in place to make sure that the wrestlers are safe. Obviously, they've been saying that if anyone has any health concerns or any issues like that, then feel free to miss any shows. Like, they've not stopped anyone from doing that. And yeah, it's just good that they're actually putting things in place, because obviously wrestling's not the most social distant thing you can do in the world.
And you saw that a lot on SmackDown. Like, in the first couple episodes, you didn't give it a pass, but you tried to turn a blind eye just to be like, oh, wrestling, okay, at least there's something happening. Whereas with the way things have escalated now, seeing a few of the things happening on SmackDown, I was a bit like, this is a bit unnecessary. So like some of the backstage segments where people were this close to each other, you were like, no,
maybe don't do that. But yeah, at least they're putting plans in place. Like, if they're checking everyone when they enter the building, taking temperatures and things like that, they're controlling it as much as you can in a situation without actually just stopping the shows entirely. That's probably the best way to control it. But
so did Becky pretty much state there that after this period now where Mania's been filmed and Raw's been filmed, SmackDown's been filmed, they've all been sent home now for a 2-week quarantine?
Seems like it, yeah. That now they're going home. That they've just it's more of a personal thing to make sure that they're quarantined from home, just to make sure they're not bringing anything from there. She also went on to say that just about the sort of situation in general, that she's come from the independent circuit and she's used to wrestling in front of nobody, and she remembered a time back in Kilkenny in Ireland where she wrestled in front of 7 people, and it was actually worse because you could hear what the people were saying, and if you did something bad, they got quite disrespectful. There were 7 people in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is where that experience thing is going to come to play. But the ones who've just been drafted into NXT or through the developmental system off the back of not having, let's say, an indie career, those ones who've just been brought in as NFL players and strongmen, things like this, who've never had to do the bingo halls or
straight into an NXT crowd, which is like hot and excited.
Yeah. Just suddenly be in this situation, it's like nobody. It's like, oh, cool. This is interesting. So yeah, they've excelled obviously in that situation. Off the back of that as well, so obviously we've had a lot of these shows that have been pre-recorded, like we just said there, for the Performance Center. We've had a bit of an update based on what's going to happen with the SmackDown Live after Mania 36. So obviously we've had a couple of those SmackDowns in the bank now. They're there, ready to go. The one that's going to come next week has already been recorded. That's ready to rock. But the next the show after WrestleMania is now, according to F4W Online, they've said that episode could be live, the one after WrestleMania. That could actually, because they're apparently scheduled to record that one and then the week after that one, like pretty close together. So that first one that they're going to record, they could just air live straight away. Obviously this means that you've got that anything could happen element, I guess, to the show, which I don't know how important it is necessarily to have it live. I mean, it would be nice,
I don't think it's important at this point.
It's not. I mean, it's interesting to note, but I don't know. It's a weird story. It's a weird thing to really cover, because it's a bit like, okay, cool, if it is live, it's great. I didn't watch that show today and think, oh, this would have been so much better if it would have been happening in real time. Anything could happen. It didn't. Right now, there are bigger things at hand, sadly. So yeah, and then have you got another story? Have you got the?
I do, yeah. Finally, in case you're looking for something a little bit light and a little bit fun to be doing with your weekend, tonight Chris Jericho is doing a Saturday night special stream. He wrote on Twitter, he says, "Hi guys, if you're bored and shut in at home, grab a beverage and come join me for the first ever Chris Jericho's Saturday night special tonight on Facebook, live at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to take your questions, tell some stories, and lead a live Judas sing-along. So see you then." So if you're looking for something fun to do tonight, go hang out with Chris Jericho and sing Judas at him.
I mean, that's my night sorted, really. I now have plans. Woo! Loving isolation life. And the last piece of news we've got today is also something you can do with your time. You probably can't do it this weekend, but you can do it throughout the week, next week, if you feel like you've got a bit of time in your hands to watch some awesome WWE network content. They've announced that the Broken Skull Sessions will have an uncensored version dropping on the WWE network from next Tuesday going forward, or this Tuesday going forward. So obviously this will show the past episodes that we've already had from the likes of Goldberg, Big Show, Kane, Bret Hart. Watched the Bret Hart one the other day, and that was excellent. It was fantastic. You just love seeing these two absolute legends shoot the breeze, and then they really dissected their epic clash as well at WrestleMania, which was awesome. But yeah, so apparently this is going to be uncensored, unfiltered, just like my reading of this story right now. And it could be quite interesting. They might have a few explicit stories that they couldn't put into the first episode, or it might just be two people swearing at each other for a while, which is what it is.
Who knows? We'll really get to see how many whiskeys they do drink on that show.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I'll see how many beers that Stone Cold goes through, because we only see like the odd one attack. Yeah, 7 or 8. He's like, I'm not into it. I can drink his beer. He loves it. So yeah, they're all my news stories for the day. Phil, you got anything else?
Nope, that is it.
Awesome.
So thank you very much for watching. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow me at PhilMyChambers, and you can follow Gareth
at GMorgan04.
And you can follow everyone at WhatCulture at WhatCulture WWE. Please do remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think of all of the current stories going on in the world of wrestling. But yeah, stay safe, stay at home, and have yourselves a bloody good day, everyone.
Exactly. Don't forget to do some exercise and eat loads of good food.